Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. This is Football Manager. Breaking FM24 one last time with Swansea City before the release of FM26. So far, so good. 3 seasons in. Well and truly broken. Um, and yeah, we are accelerating quickly to the point where you can't really call it breaking because some of the players we've got are good enough to be winning what we have won or what we will be winning, maybe. Like, yeah, my only real other thing is Champions League this year would still be breaking the game because I don't quite think we're anywhere near that level. So to do that would be breaking the game. Championship season one, not a huge deal. You know, mini break, definitely above expectations, but mini break, let's say. Eighth in the Premier League, season two, a step up from that, but not, again, not truly breaking. Premier League winners, season three. Now we're starting to get into good breaking territory. Champions League winners, season four, is monumental kind of game breakage. Season five, more realistic, 6, 7, you kind of, you're just in normal game territory there, I feel. So we're just going to see what happens. We're just going to see what happens. But yeah, little updates to do. We're almost at the end of the transfer window. We got like a week or so. I wanted to do one of the early games as live com. I've picked a home game. I can't even remember who it's against. I don't think it's a tough game. But we're going to go through the schedule and everything else and catch up on what's been happening. So I wanted to open up with the transfers at the tail end of last season because, that's kind of the exciting stuff for me. So Ethan Galbraith, we did get our 30 million. We got 32 with 35 and a half potential from Aston Villa. It was a good idea to keep him around. And yeah, he's a very good player for us. Don't get me wrong. Just very useful to have around. 21 games off the bench last season. Did try and sell him in January. Of course, that didn't work because of his injury. We were looking to get about 30 million for him. That didn't work out. His value plummeted a bit. Put him back in the team here and there. And he got back up to 30 million and a couple of teams came in for him. And we got our money at the end of the day, which is all you can really ask for. Now, we do continue to buy low, sell high. No, we don't. No, we don't. I said that like it's a matter of fact. In general, we do, but we have, a few times blown transfer records out the water. And we're going to continue to do that, as you'll see in a moment. But yeah, I really do feel that, he went from being a star player to a good player in the Premier League, but nothing spectacular. Lost his place in the team last year and gets sold this year. So it's kind of a fairly normal progression when you look at all those things. But big money for him. Most of that, like we had the deal already planned for Mamardashvili, of course. So he comes in as our new number one. And we also picked up a young striker from Man United who I've been looking at for a while. I scouted a couple of times. He's not 5-star potential. He might not be, this amazing striker of the future, but he's pretty good now. He's a little low anticipation for what I like. But yeah, he's 6'1". He's a good finisher. He's got a bit of speed. There's a lot around him. And there's still a ton of growth. So even though he's not a 5-star potential, I do feel that there's a lot there to like. And yeah, as we are progressing as a club in small increments, the youth intakes that we've had are now starting to go from 5 down to like 4 to 3.5 star prospects. There's a few still holding 5s. They must be the actual good ones from those classes, but what looked like amazing classes with like 8 players that are going to hit the first team, the 5-star potentials, over the course of 2 years, that initial one now is like, well, probably 3, maybe 4 will make the first team or the bench, which is still a phenomenal class. But we do need to now supplement that in certain positions and certain ways, and None more so than goalkeeper. We didn't find a good goalkeeper. We thought we did, but yeah, the ones that we actually had have ended up being really not great potentially. So people like Luke are coming in to kind of fill out some spots and help us out, and he looks more or less game ready. Personality of professional, which we like. Let's say 6'1", some good traits. I mean, I don't love or hate wind up opponents. I think it's kind of a meh attribute at the end. There are definitely better ones, especially for strikers. Runs with ball through center is a really nice one for me though, because I do like my players running at defenders. And like I say, he's pretty good now with the potential to become even better and to pick him up for a lower price because he hasn't yet played really for United. You can see he got a bench appearance in the Cup and then Continental, which he didn't even have enough minutes to even get a rating. So it is what it is. He hasn't played great at the start, but it's not really about him now. So we dropped the cash on him, and I feel pretty good about that, to be honest with you, because we've been making money really. We lost a little bit in that season to get promoted. We made much more in that season. Now we're about even on terms of money. And then we come to this season and again, just tons of money in the bank, which is good because we spent all our money. But the Dorgu deal was done, 2.5 million, backup left back, rotation option. Did quite well on loan. I feel like nothing crazy, but did okay. The few games here, he's had his shot. He's done okay. I think just a nice cheap pickup. Even though he's not great defensively, he'll do what I want and what I need from him, and that's kind of good. And to be honest with you, the physicals are more important in general in FM, but for a fullback as well, I think that's 90% of them getting back into position to defend across or get a block in or make a tackle, make an interception. So the fact that he's pretty good pace acceleration wise with some good other stuff means that his lack of positioning, his lack of tackling, his lack of marking don't really get exposed as much as you would maybe think they would. So I'm okay with that deal. And again, especially for 2.5 million, he's already worth much, much more than that. And like I say, he had a pretty good loan with us. A couple of big injuries to Carboni last year too, at left back, and we didn't miss his production or his defense that much. There was a slight drop off, but nowhere near as much as it probably could or should have been. And I don't need him to be amazing because we do have good left back prospects at the club, and we scouted out another couple in case they don't work out. I feel pretty confident in the position, even if we do need to spend money later on for it. I really think that's a good deal. And then we got to the end of the season, and the clubs released this list of players, came up, and I was looking over it, as I always do. Just like, anyone interesting, any bench players, any rotation players. And then Mark Gay, he comes up on the list, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. But, yeah, okay, maybe he's not. I don't know. I don't feel he should be a 4-star player either. Should be 4-star ability, 5-star potential, really. He should probably look a little better than this. He's already shown for England. He's shown for Palace what he can be. Newcastle chased him for a bunch of time. Liverpool chasing him for a bunch of time. Maybe about to drop decent money on him as he's coming into the last year of his contract. In game, they just didn't sell him and maybe didn't get the interest in him. And he was actually got to the end of his contract. So you'd be stupid not to. I tried to pair him with Aymeric Laporte. He chose Everton. He thinks Everton have a better squad than us. We've just won the league. He thought that was a better team. I mean, I'm not really sure I wish I could see last season's graphs, but I'm not really sure that like there's much to debate on that. And if we do quickly jump ahead to the profile, I know you've seen the league and everything, but we are put in mid-table together, and we are the higher rated of the two. So he just like these players' reputations, I guess. I guess like Pickford has a bigger reputation than a goalie that just joined us who hasn't really played in the Premier League right now, and Mamardashvili, but there's no contest whatsoever. There's no contest whatsoever. We just bought a new right back because we needed to. I guess Patterson's quite highly rated. Our centre backs weren't that highly rated. We just changed out a couple there as well. Branthwaite might be higher there as well. Garner, Lakonga, Fellows, McNeil, Gibbs, White, Beto, like none of those should be higher than people we've got in those positions. Maybe backups, rotation, maybe they're paid more. You know, there's a bunch of different things that maybe I could see, but I was kind of trying to pair the both together and really solve centre back, and I wasn't able to do it that way. But that's fine, because we went and dropped 40 million, which is the release clause for Osman Diamonde instead, who's again, you know, fairly strong, very strong, same as Mark. Mark's really solid and really good and English, and also a former player. He was here on loan for 2 years, or a year and a half. Did really, really well before he went to Palace and did his bit. So kind of had to bring him in, but Diamonde, in FM terms, is probably going to do a lot of the legwork. He's younger, better resale value, everything. But they're both 4-star, with pros and no cons, which, again, I don't agree with these star ratings, but it gives you a rough idea. And so, yeah, I feel very comfortable about that pairing. When you look at it, for 40 million, that's something that works, right? And then someone else that wasn't really playing for a big club, again, Liverpool. Barcelona have done this for us 3 to 4 times, where there's a good player / great player who just isn't playing, and we've swooped in and kind of rescued them. Now Liverpool with Mamardashvili and Frimpong, like 27 million. Again, not great defensively, but tons of pace to get back in position and to go forward. I'm good with that. Couple of little knocks and injuries whatsoever, but again, I think that's a great deal. And that should be it. But I was kind of rounding up my transfer business at the end of sort of July, and I just kind of lost out after Gay. I'd lost out on Laporte. I'd lost out on somebody. I can't remember who else. I sent it back. There's another big name that escapes me right now. I was tying up the contracts for Diamonde and Frimpong, and I was like, okay, let me go again and look at who's on the transfer list, or just who would want to join me that shouldn't be available. Kind of like your Harvey Elliott situation. And Kobe Mainu is there, and I'm like, oh, he could be fun as a defensive player, but he could also be fun as maybe a mid-sala. He could fit as a centre midfielder on support. I don't know where I'd fit him. And I was kind of using that as an excuse as to why I probably shouldn't buy him. That was my reasoning, was I don't know. I got Nico Gonzalez in defensive midfield. Would he displace? Maybe he's kind of, maybe not good enough to do that. Mazzala, like, is he Harvey Elliott going forward? Not really. If I put him inside, like, Cam Humphrey's been great. Jashari's been great. Rego's got just this massive arc. I didn't expect him to have this much potential, but, like, he's growing and he's playing and he's doing, like, where would he fit? How would it all line up? And then someone basically had interest in them, and I was like, oh, I should get Kobe, because no matter where my injury is, even if it's a season-ending injury to someone, I can play him, and he'll be kind of good in any of those roles. He'll be a bit weaker defensively, maybe, but he'll kind of do that screening job really well, which is all I really need him to do. And he's not great in the air, but he's not super small or super bad in the air. So when he does slip in playing centre-back on a counter, he might be okay there. So yeah, I decided to pull the trigger, and that's why earlier when I said buy low, sell high. Now sometimes we really break those ideals, if you will say, or break our own rules. So yeah, he comes in to midfield. Now Meslier, we knew there was interest from Al Hilal and Al. Was it just Al Hilal? Was it Al Hilal and somebody else? Maybe I can't remember now, but Al Hilal are the ones. I know we had Dama coming for a couple of players. We had Al Nassr and Al Ittihad, Al Ali, and Al Hilal. I think all 5 of those came in for players. Sometimes more than one player, but those 5 at some point put bids in for players. So I might get mixed up exactly who came for who. I think it might have been Al Ali and Al Hilal for Meslier. But we knew he was going out. It wasn't a huge amount of money. He had the season of a lifetime for 17 clean sheets for a £4 million move after Leeds froze him out of their team. And yeah, he won the clean sheets. He had the least goals conceded. He won the Premier League. And immediately he's gone out, and I haven't even really looked at this, but 775k a week, 13.5 million in a loyalty bonus. If he keeps a clean sheet, there's another, 310 grand? It's over $1 million a week per clean sheet. It's like, 930 grand for every game he plays. Absolutely crazy. Winning the AFC, was that is that the Asian football? I don't know. It might be, right? I don't know. Yeah, because Japan, yeah. So there'll be the Asian or Australasian or whatever the A stands for, Champions League. I haven't really played out there much in a long time, so I forget what it actually stands for. But yeah, he gets 2.2 million for winning that, which Al Hilal have a really good team. Probably have a good chance at that, right? So Al Dohail, they're not one of the big ones. Interesting. So Shanghai Port Ulsan, Al Arabi, Kashima Antlers, Urawa Red Diamonds beat Al Hilal. Al Hilal beat Pohang, and then Al Hilal beat Urawa in 2019. So they've been involved recently, not really in game, but yeah, that's not a bad little deal for him. I don't blame him. Like I said, we had Mamadashvili, who is, if we look here, it's like, yeah, okay, it's very similar. They're different kind of goalkeepers for sure, and yeah, like crazy. One-on-ones is the only stat I'm really going down on from Meslier. So his aerial reach still is 18. He's a little bit better command of the box, which I do really like. I don't think that quite makes up for the lack of one-on-ones that Meslier had on him. His reflexes are a point better, but really, it's fairly even. Just it doesn't look like it, but for what I value, shade to Meslier, just. And then here, again, some stuff I like on both sides. Ultimately, a touch to Mamadashvili. Jumping, reach, and strength especially is better for Mamadashvili in the physicals, so we really like that. 5'6", 5'5", much of a muchness, really. But overall, just a shade to Mamadashvili. We make a tiny bit, like 5 million. 5.5 million, I think. 5 million. Yeah, 5.5 million in profit, which is probably what I paid Mamadashvili for joining. So pretty much, I would say then, pretty much the same money. But that's, yeah, that's also a player I think can be much better than Meslier in the future. So I think we've got our goalie for the future, unless something crazy happens. Martinez, a good backup player, solid, was never anything else. Came in and did bits. To be really fair to him, that championship season, he was always available off the bench. We rotated like crazy. Into the Premier League, it wasn't really working. And last season kind of phased out completely, really, by bringing in Dorgu on loan. But yeah, he kind of hit his cap. The players were even complaining that he hadn't, that he wasn't good enough. Or rather, I should say that that they didn't think the position had enough depth. Same thing in my eyes. Japa, a weird deadline day move that I don't really know why he was suggested to us, but him and Kwam were like, let's just do it and see for like 5 million a pair. Had a good start, looked okay, didn't really end up having great potential, but was performing in little fits and spurts. Could never fit them into the team and always wanted someone different that had a little bit more about them, a lot more upside. But he kind of did really well. And again, I think he'll fit into this Leverkusen team who need more attack-minded midfield. I think they're better players are the defensive-minded midfielders. They've got a lot of those. So I'm really hoping he does well, because good player for us, even in limited numbers. Adam Devine, again, another backup that we need to improve at fullback. Just solid, good defensively, decent going forward. But again, just so limited in terms of appearances. He had 12 starts in the championship campaign, and then 6 in that season, only 3 last season. And he wasn't keeping up with the growth of the club at all. Makandali, slight loss. I brought him in for reasons, because I thought he was cheap. I thought he had good potential. And because Southampton beat us to him in the championship as a free transfer, and I kind of wanted that. He was, I think for his ESC place, he needed 30%, and after the 6-game run at the end of the season, I played him continuously for like 6 out of 7 games, I think, as starts. I think he was at 37%, so he was above the ESC place. I could have got him that permit. But I looked at the young players coming through and was like, oh, they're close. And he's currently 5th choice centre-back, and some other stuff happened, but Mark Gay comes in and there's a chance of Laporte, and I'm like this just isn't going to work. I'll take a small hit because that's the most money I could get. But I also think for 750k, he did enough for me in a short time. He is solid. He definitely doesn't have the potential I thought he had. There's just good makeup to him. He is solid. With Dwapa, we can talk about Kwan. Exactly the same, but he came for a quarter of his, or a third of his Brazilian teammate, and never hit those heights. Never really did well. Give him a little run in the team and a few more minutes last season. It was just never working out. And there's a chance of good money. He's worth like 20 odd mil. We got slightly under that, but again, money became superfluous really last season. This season, even more so, when you start talking about one of the biggest sales we've had, or the biggest sale we've had, and one of the biggest players we've had. Yeah, Man United came in. He was unhappy I turned them down, but I think I could have made that work. Al Ittihad, I think it was Al Ittihad came in, and that was kind of the one that soured the relationship properly at that point. We couldn't agree on a fee. He wanted to go for like 60 million. He wouldn't, he wouldn't kind of put his value up to where I wanted, which was like 100. And yeah, his value was already over that. So I don't really know what was going on, but it was a bit weird in places. I had converted him to play striker. I fully expect him now to turn back into a winger if they're not playing with striker. They may do, but that's kind of where I saw something I really liked in him. But I also looked at it and it's like, he's 5'6", he's never going to be great in the air. His pace, his power is decent, but like, we can make a ton of money. He's done a ton of really good things. But there's nothing truly special about him right now that I can't replicate, maybe with Makoko coming into his place. And some of those young players, and then that United player at the tail end of last year, Coxall. Like, some movement up top had to happen. And Buffon felt like the odd man out, but very, very important part of the save. But I felt like that had to go. Similarly, Ika Bravo, he was worth a lot more. I think he's worth like 30 million, 28 million, 30 million, somewhere around there. We ended up selling him for under 20, but still more than double what we got in a couple of sub appearances. He did score in a cup game, but I was expecting a lot more from him, and he never really forced his way into the first team squad. He never forced himself onto a bench. And we had other good players up ahead of him. It's not totally his fault, but he was never more than like 6th or 7th choice, really. Dan Match came in for Pellegrino, 16.5. I said yes, especially after already having Gay in and the thought of Laporte as someone beside him. Dan Burn was available. No physicals, or no speed, but Dan Burn was available, still is available, 1.4. I almost put him with Mark Gay and try and see if Mark Gay could do his running for him. In the end, Diamande was a much better fit for us, but yeah, I think, again, we tried to make this work, and it didn't feel like it was working. And anytime I asked my assistant, he wouldn't put Pellegrino in. He put Greaves over him. He put... who else did he like putting over him? Makandali, I put over him. But there's somebody else he put over him. Who do we have on loan? The Tottenham defender, Ashley Phillips. He put Ashley over him, which I kind of understand, sure. But I'd rather not use loan players if I have to. So I disagreed with that. But, yeah, I thought it was time to end that. And my business was almost done. I was like, okay, we're coming towards the end of the month. Everything should be fine. It was early to mid July. And like, we were basically starting to put these together. And we just had Dogu, Dashvili, Coxall, in. I thought that was good business and really kind of rounded us out. And then Al-Ali comes in for Pavlovic. We lose out on Laporte roughly a couple of days after this, I think, which highlighted the need to go back into the window, which is where we found Frimpong. And then on top of that, where we found Kobe Mainu as well. But Pavlovic, good player. Again, one I think I was trying to make work. 625 a week, 10 and a quarter remaining fee there. So he's getting less money. He's also available for 69 million, so we could totally dip back in. But yeah, not a great first season at all. Second season did pick up, I will say. I believe 2 of those goals were in one game, and maybe 2 more were in another. I don't know about all 3. I seem to remember him scoring a hat-trick, but I might be misremembering that. But I think at least those 5 goals came in 3 games at most. So really not that productive as a big, strong centre-back, either defensively or attacking-wise, as much as I thought he would be. And yeah, I'd be very happy to pair him with Mark Gay, but again, it doesn't work out. Now we got Diamonde. I think that's kind of a good deal. How much did Pellegrino get? Yeah, almost nothing. Damac is not a huge club out there, that's why. Yeah, Meslier got a better deal than Pavlovic, which would be nuts to think before they joined the club. But Meslier had a career-defining season, and Pavlovic just had an okay kind of season. I guess that ended up working out for them. And then Sam Parker, like a lot of clubs were interested in him towards the end of the season. And in the end, the lack of potential and everything just kind of made me want to take them up on that offer. And as soon as they did, and I saw Frimpong there, I was expecting not Connor Bradley. Who's the other one? I was thinking of Connor Ramsey, Connor Bradley, Calvin Ramsey. Yeah, Calvin Ramsey. But I wasn't. I was actually thinking of Connor Bradley, but for some reason my brain was telling me I was wrong. No, because he's Northern Irish. That's exactly who we were looking at, and we scouted if you go back a few videos. But he wasn't there. Frimpong was. Similar money as Bradley was available for previously. And Bradley, of course, didn't want to join us back then. He might have now, but Frimpong did. So anyway, it all worked out. And I felt pretty good about making that move. I'm sad to move on for Sam Parker. Pretty much the last of the actual Swansea players. And in real life, he's not even a first-team player. He's a youngster that's close to breaking into the first-team squad, let's say. But yeah, he is the last of those. When we got rid of Cabango and we got rid of Liam Cullen, those two especially, two of the big standouts. Ethan Galbraith, to be fair, but he's a newcomer into the real Swansea squad. And then youngsters like Ben Lloyd, etc., that Parker is amongst or a little bit above in the pecking order in real life. But this was kind of like that last goodbye. But I feel good about getting in Jeremy Frimpong for about the same money. And then we got half the money back that we give for Kobbie Mainoo for Jashari. And I'm looking at him like, yeah, I love Jashari. Jashari's fantastic. But he's done the business for us. He was never great. He was very reliable. He lost his defensive midfield place to Nico Gonzalez. And then in midfield, he couldn't keep Cam Humphrey out the team or Rego out the team. He kind of defaulted into that middle position. And everything he can do, I think Kobbie Mainoo can do. But Kobbie's 2 years younger, and after getting Mark Gay, he was like really starting a push as well as, okay, well, what kind of British players can we start reintroducing into the squad? And start pushing the focus back there. And I think everything that one can do, the other can do, and it's very similar. And Jashari's 2 years old, he's a little bit better, but really he's stronger. That's the main thing. He's a better leader and he's stronger. Everything else is kind of 1 or 2 point swings, and yet Jashari is better in so much of them. You look at the values, you look at the players, you look at the amount of money. Like this is basically I give Jashari and 40 million to get Kobbie Mainoo, which United might see as a win. And all power to them. I'm more kind of counting that there's a bit more room to grow, and he's English. Okay, he doesn't like big matches, but they kind of are the same. I just got a couple of years younger and a slightly better prospect, slightly more potential. with a homegrown player. And I'm not going to miss that £40 million, which is nuts. But let's face it, we're not going to miss that £40 million. Like, 309's our highest ever up until we started spending at the start of this month. We were 385. And yeah, in that time, we've spent, 160 million? and we've got back a decent amount, yeah, sure, but it's basically Sam Parker and Jashari. That's what we're down the 80 million. It's 160 in and 80 million out, but we've replaced both those players and got a new centre back in for that money. So I don't feel too bad about it. We do have deals for Josh Evans out of Leicester. A good player, got some potential. Again, there's some stuff I don't like in the end, ambitious, whatever. But yeah, he does have potential. Same with Mark Edwards. He's actually just gone down. He was 3.5 star. He's just gone down to 3, but driven personality, high determination. The only thing really wrong with him was that he lacked physicality. I figured he could be a bench player, but again, I think maybe our reputation just went up because that's a bunch of players have just changed their potential, so we're being ranked against that, I guess. Maybe it's new players that have come in. I don't know. I don't really think so, especially up front. But yeah, it's overall quality of the squad plus the reputation of the squad plus the players in that position they kind of get compared against. So yeah, cheap deals, nothing crazy. A lot of add-ons. I think sell-on clauses as well. They're like 25 to 35% of their profit of the next fee is included. We're probably just going to sell those when we have them. And then just the spending continues, really. In January, we got a goalkeeper. Like I say, I hadn't found a good goalkeeper, but Marcos Andre has got a really good report, really, really high levels of potential. He's professional, he's 6'4", he can jump, handling, one-on-ones, reflexes. Aerial reach isn't really there, but we can kind of train that. But yeah, I just really kind of think he might be a great little backup behind Mamadashvili and maybe takes over from him long enough. Very good. There aren't that many 5-star potential goalies out there, and even fewer that are available. And some of them are just like stupidly expensive, like over 100 million for like an 18, 19-year-old goalkeeper who's never played for a club. So I kind of went the Brazilian route and scouted out a bunch of like under 21 talent from the main team and the other youth teams and a couple of big clubs. But we came up with him. We also came up with a midfielder who I really, really like. Brave, determined, dribbler, solid physicals, high work rate. I really do think he could be a Mizala at this next level. Again, if you ignore the finishing, I think he and the long shots, because my Mizalas don't do that. Everything else, he has a couple of the low numbers, but he will be a solid player. Great potential, great pros. Light-hearted, I don't love, but again, we can probably mentor that out. He dictates the tempo, which is also something else I really like in my midfielders. There's that, tries killer balls often, and likes to switch flank. Or likes to switch the ball to the other flank. Those are kind of what I like. He's got one of them. I'm pretty happy there. So, couple of Brazilians in, couple of youth prospects out. It's going to cost us another 35 million, but again, we really don't care. We really don't care. One thing we do care about, and I'd almost forgotten about, is where we're playing. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. our stadium's being worked on, and it's costing a decent amount of money. But again, we don't really care about that. Yeah, I don't love playing at Cardiff's ground. Our fierce local rivals, the South Wales Derby. Why are we at their ground? It's slightly annoying. But it'll only be for this year. It will only be for this year. And we will be able to go back to our own stadium, which will be similar size, maybe slightly less, slightly more. I don't really even know, if I'm honest with you. 36, so slightly more. So yeah, everything else is absolutely fine. But the money's good. Clubs, affiliates, not really too much. I've added in AIK. We're getting the Swedish players in. I think I've shown this one. I'm not really sure. We did look for another affiliate club, another merchandise one. We were told, no, we're going to look again and recruit foreign youngsters. Bank on the Rivals card coming through for us. They are just a nice little one there. Facilities are maxed. Transfer budget's huge. Wage budget's decent. Can't really do too much else. Staff, they've started saying no to. We've got some new staff. We've got bigger numbers of staff too. We'll look at that in a second. But yeah, we've got the best staff in the league. We're actually over on coach and scout. I think we maybe hit the threshold for reputation to grow. And then we came down. Is what I think happened, because I was told I can have even more coaches in this. I think it was like 14 coaches. And I hired 14, and one of them failed. And then when I looked, I was already over, and I don't know why. But also they wouldn't add any more because we were already over, I guess, maybe. But we are over. We're over in the under 21s as well, which means it's not like a request that then they went back on or anything like that. I'm pretty sure it's got to be reputation based. I know it works something like that. I'm not sure exactly how. But yeah, we got the second best distribution goalie coaching behind Arsenal. We got the second best sports science coaching behind Tottenham at under 18s level. Not so good at under 21. This is something I'll probably have to go and do. But fourth in the under 21s, Wolves are number one. Man United number one. We're 13th in sports science. We only got one sports scientist with a 12. Physio's got a 70. We can upgrade slightly there. We can upgrade a lot maybe there. Coaching, though, pretty good. Pretty good. Man City, the best goalkeeper handling. We're 3. We're second behind Chelsea in goalkeeper distribution. Second behind Chelsea in defending. Second behind Chelsea in attacking coaching at under 21 level. Like I say, we dominate coaching at the Premier League level. Man United scouting is the best, and we are second behind them. We're fourth in physiotherapy behind Liverpool and sports science too. So Liverpool have the medical team, and we're fourth in the league. We're second behind Man United for recruitment team, and we are the best coaching team. And if you want to look at people and personalities, this is the list. And we did basically decide to go and get a couple of model citizens. Hopefully that helps the youth academy out a little bit, especially with our new head of youth development, Volker Kirsting. But yeah, you will see director of football, head of youth, German, coming in strong. Cochrane's also a new guy, as is Madavikia, something along that name. Yeah, but these are the players we got. Oh, these are the staff we got, sorry, in. And just, yeah, we're getting to that level now where some of the best names are German and we're kind of taking advantage of that. New assistant manager, very fun. Very fun. The only one I really want to talk about because, yeah, we hired him as our first head of youth and resolute, and that first and best, by far, youth intake came under Jonathan Pepper. And we got rid of him for Pep Boada, and I don't think that was a bad thing. But, you know, he went to Chesterfield, became their head of youth after we released him. And then I was looking for an assistant, so, okay, who's pretty good at training? Because also determination, discipline, motivation, those are big training attributes. But who's good at training in general? Well, he does the job. Really good man management. Good with youngsters because we're getting very young again. Can really give me a good idea of the players in my first team squad. And also is decent with tactics. Plays with a DM. Good personality. British. I had to go back and get him, so he becomes my new assistant. But, yeah, tendencies also kind of fit what we like, to be fair. And he can play as an assistant. You know, he's okay in his role. He'd love to be head of youth, but like I say, Volker is just model citizen and hits those things for me. And again, has a DM position in his formation. We've had some that are much better. I definitely think there's some people I hired, right, that were 4-2 diamond. Or did I just try and get 4-2 diamond? There's a 4-3-2-1 narrow, which kind of suits what we're doing apart from that attacking midfielder. Yeah, you can look through the preferred formations. There we go. Diamond, narrow, physio. Diamond, narrow, physio. Oh, did I just get physio? I got 3 physios. At some point, I was looking at that pretty heavily. And to be fair to me, I don't think it mattered where they were. That's fun. I don't like how this is. Kind of off screen. There we go. I'm always fiddling with these spacings and everything. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like some of the changes we've made there. We're in good position. We are 4-star now. Yeah, we're barely up into 4-star. I think we're right on the cusp of being 4-star or not. I think we might have dipped down. Might be going back up. I don't know. We were behind Villa in the rankings, which I don't love, but I do get. And yeah, all this really is now is what country youth intake players do I want? Bulgaria is not bad. It's all. I think really it should just be the highest reputation country that you have within the same club reputation. And then if you've got multiple options that you like, then I'd go into the club and see what their facilities are like and use that as maybe the deciding factors. And it may not be perfect, it may not be min-maxing it, but it's kind of how I do. So, like Cyprus, no. Bulgaria, South Africa. No, South Africa is really interesting. For those that don't know, I was born in South Africa, so I am South African. I think of myself as Welsh. I've been here most of my life. I've spent far more time living in America than I have in South Africa. But yeah, at some combination, I am a Welsh African American, which is really dumb to say, but really fun at the same time. But yeah, South Africa has some really high level youth as well, which is really intriguing. Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania, none of these are bad options. Norway, we've got Sweden already, but that could be good. Austria could be good. Denmark. But really what you come to is Portugal and Netherlands. We've got 3 clubs. And so, Portimonense, like, what do you like? Not great youth recruitment, which I think is probably the key thing. If I had to guess, Groningen. I don't mind Groningen. I don't mind them. Not great youth recruitment, but good youth facilities. Having a link with them wouldn't be bad. Arvecha. Slightly better youth recruitment, slightly worse youth facilities. Definitely a smaller club than the others. I finished 5th. Okay. Wow. Braga, the only club that were above them, not in the big 3. So kind of the best of the rest there. But don't take that for nothing, because then they went down the next season. Yeah. And then they got up, but just about. Well, Vista down there as well. And then they've come back up and yeah. Game in hand, don't look too bad. They're okay. Really intriguing club. Really intriguing club. I think I'm just gonna go for them. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for them. So we'll get some Swedes in, we'll get some I'm assuming this goes through. We're gonna have to quickly wait. Oh my god. I said quickly wait. Quickly. There we go. We've got some Portuguese, some Swedes, and then, of course, the other one, South Korea, Japan, Australia, United States, as well as making money. They're also sending. Sorry, I just realized we could send players on loan. I need to take that out of Sweden. Is that also here? Yes, it is. I just don't want so many people coming to me, so many staff coming to me saying, you should loan this to this club and loan this to this club. Like, no, the only team I'm going to be loaning players out to will be Newport. They're up to League One now. But getting some Swedish and Portuguese youngsters in is not bad. And then South Korea, Japan, Australia, United States. Getting some of those youngsters is fine. They're making a ton of money. Not that we need that now, but they're at least pulling double duty. Oh my god, he's gone cheaper. Yeah, a couple of players that I was going to showcase that I almost went and bought. Shabozla is one of them. He was 29 million. I was like, okay, that's tempting. Maybe I should pull the trigger. Maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know what I want to do. And now it's down to 16 and a half. He's not amazing, but for 16 and a half, that's a whole lot of midfielder. Nico, Cam, Sammy, Kobe, Kyle, Elliott, Oakley. My defensive midfielders are Nico with Kyle backing him up. And I'm okay with that, and that move wouldn't really change that. I would have to make, maybe Baybrook my backup defensive midfielder. Gonzalez, Rego, Mainu, Elliott. That's my 4-man midfield. Which means my backup midfield right now is Kyle Smith. In fact, we can do it this way. Kyle Smith in behind Baybrook, Palfrey, and Humphreys. So the logical thing would be to drop Smith back into the youth team. He's only 16. He's got tons of potential. That's phenomenal. He looks just about ready. I don't think I need to use him much. And if we did get a big injury, he could still sit on the bench and Corby can drop back and we can pull in Cam Humphreys into the lineup. That's the kind of idea. But I kind of want a dedicated second team here, which means if we did drop out Carl Smith, I might have to go with Baybrook. And then I've got to drop one of these guys out. And again, sadly, it's likely to be Rago. I don't know why it wouldn't be Harvey Elliott, but I just can't do that. Oh yeah, he is homegrown now. He just got his homegrown quota. Oh, I don't want to sell Rago, but this is my issue. Yeah, okay, he's homegrown. Dom isn't. Yeah, he's 4 years younger than Dom. They're the same damn player. They're the same damn player. There's a few little bits that Arago is better at, like composure, a lot better, sure. A little bit maybe top end physicality, loses bottom end physicality all round. Meh. Shade to Dom. Here, so even, it's unbelievable. Oh my god. I was going to say shade to Rago, but that 4-point swing and work rate is huge. The leadership bump's really nice as well, and the teamwork as well. I'm gonna say evens, maybe shade to Dom. And then, sure, yeah, dribbling, sure, pointing, sure, like, no, Dom wins. Would I be dumb not to take Bournemouth up on their offer? Maybe. Maybe. Nico Gonzalez. Kobe Mainu. Harvey Elliott. Dominic Szoboszlai. This is how I'm building my teams, boys. This is how I'm building my teams. And it's kind of working, right? It's kind of working. I can never remember. Diamante on the left or the right? Yeah, Diamante first. Diamante, Gay, Carbone. Then I got Nico. And for right now, we got No, we don't have Harvey. We have Rago. We have Colby. We have Harvey. We got Yamal and Dukoko. And then the second 11, Locker Kennelly, who looks okay. Yeah. Again, it's alphabetical order. I just need to remember my centre backs are alphabetical. We'll be okay. Smith, Baybrook, Palfrey, Humphreys, Agueli, Coxhill. First 11, really good. If we do move Rago out into the second 11, Baybrook back, drop Carl Smith. I think that does work for me. I think it does work for me. Wow. I didn't expect to be doing this. I thought business was done, and suddenly Bournemouth. Like suddenly Seymour, but a whole lot weirder. I can't say no to a deal at 16.5 million. I'm supposed a contract might kill me. Up to 110. He's being reasonable. He's being reasonable, and if he's gone down in value, what else is there? Furman's still there. That would tempt me. He still tempts me. He still tempts me. Ligov still tempts me. Yep. Yeah, he still tempts me. I should be searching by potential for people I've already scouted. Elliot, Prucha, Vinicius. I mean, there's so much here I like. Maybe not love, but like. Injury prone, but Cardoso, again, defensive midfield could come in and do bits. Vinicius, as a striker, we don't need him. We need to teach him how to finish. He's another kind of winger turned striker, but tons of pace. Don't love his inconsistency, but, Prucha looks really good. Don't really need anyone there. Not going to pay Man United for a goalkeeper. I don't think he looks amazing. He's only 5'11" as well. My Brazilian was 6'4", I think I found. So I'm definitely more kind of up for him. Joe, I actually was kind of tempted with as a backup, because inconsistency doesn't matter too much as a backup. Looks good all the way around, but his finishing's only a 5. Definitely feels like a striker you convert to a winger, which I don't want to do. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of bargains there. And then if we go to 15 to 30, who we got that might break things wide open? Hansen, no. Skriniar, no. There's not really. Dom's kind of sitting there on his own at a nice price. I mean, at least that want to join us. At least that actually want to join us. But yeah, when that list includes people like Dembele, Odegaard, Donnarumma, and Erling Haaland. He's incredibly interested. Okay. Oh boy. I mean, that's not that much of a reduction, really. Yeah, I don't really. I don't really think that's ever gonna happen. I know he's unhappy, or he was unhappy, but like just. I don't think I could pay someone 50, not 50 grand a week. My God, 500 grand a week. Oh my God, that just puts us into perspective of where we are. What are we paying? 110, 115. Oh yeah, we give Yamal a new contract. He's actually up to 115. Kobe Mainu and Jeremy Frimpong come in on 100. Gay and Diamande came in on 80. Those are our top earners. Elliot was 80, Mokoko's 80, Nico 75. I can't imagine paying someone even double that right now. like 230 a week. And then you got to more than double that to get to where Haaland would talk to us, actually. Yeah. Yeah, big pipe dream. Would be a squad player. He's just too damn reasonable. He's just too damn reasonable. Doesn't even want the 100K. 100K, 4 million, 5-year deal, 25, 15. Like, I'm giving him slightly more than he wants, but like I want to round those numbers up naturally anyway. And he just wasn't asking for anything crazy, and he's willing to be a squad player, and I just don't get it at some level, you know? Hugo Ekatike don't want to join me. Okay. I was just I like Hugo. I like Hugo. Um, and for the formation I'm playing and the style of football I'm playing, I think he'd be possibly as good as Haaland, maybe slightly better because I think there's more mobility with him. Um, but okay, he doesn't want to join me. That's fine. I think I could possibly afford him. How about Rio? You want to convert to play a striker? No, not really. You don't know how to play striker at all. It costs like 250 million, but we got 250 million in the bank. They've got Cosino as well. How much do you pay for him? 54. Yeah, I think I got a better deal with Diamande. I do feel I got a better deal with Diamande. Not gonna lie. Rafael Luis. Yeah, you barely used him. He's gonna be on the transfer list if they don't start using him. I don't know how much for, though, probably 50 or so, but I think Bosley was earlier. Um, yeah. I'm kind of looking for maybe a new left back at some point because Carbone doesn't look like he's 100% where we want him to be. Curious. 65 million for Alexander Isak. He would absolutely kill a wage budget. What am I looking up there for? Mukoko. Slightly better. 1-footed, not two. We don't actually have a scout report. Might as well get a scout report on him. Negligible difference in technicals. Maybe Shade Isaac. He's Mukoko but can jump. And just Shade Isaac in mentals. But very, very similar. We get a lot older. A little more stable. If we did have to sell Mukoko, recoup our money on him, and then put that. So we paid 60 for him. We could get like 60, 65 for Isaac. So as long as we got our money back, maybe a little bit more, we could put that in and give Isaac a big signing on fee and make that work. We get taller, a little better in the year, but basically the same. I don't hate that as kind of a semi-lateral move. Barco. Ooh, Barco at left back. Yeah, you just bought him, which is the issue. Yeah, that is the issue there. Yeah, nobody else. Nobody else would be that interesting to me. Couple of little mini injuries. wonder if we can get Szoboszlai in before Forrest, because we've got a couple of options in that midfield now. On little knocks and niggles. Everyone's sort of like between a week and 3 weeks they're getting injured for. Nothing huge. Enough to be slightly disruptive and annoying. But, yeah. Let's see if I'm right. I think 63 is a touch too low. 65 is too low. 69's all right. Okay. Even though I play them, I'm not going to want to give you that. You come down to regular, flat 150, 8 million, 450, money for the cup. I'd bump your goal difference up and I'd kill that. Everything's fairly reasonable for like the levels we're moving into. I don't really want to do that deal. I wanted to see if it would work. It will work. We can revisit that later. If we can. But like, yeah. Yeah. It's the Champions League proper. Carabao Cup, Brentford away. We're making good progress. I don't know why all this training is getting messed up. I have already set all this, which is why I'm really wondering what's going on. It's like the assistant changed all my training for no reason. Double down this. Bolt, very good. Recruitment advice. And we've gone for Frank for scout feedback. He's the best scout. Ha. Player development. Coming from Mark Taylor, my technical director. Not my assistant and not my head of youth. Feels really weird. But it's probably slightly the right thing to do. Yeah, Kirsting. Masters is my loan manager. Coaching. Best coach overall. Banera comes close, but Goodman probably still maybe has it. It's close. It's too close to even matter. And judging staff. Not Taylor. Cool. That's all fine. That's all fine. That's all fine. That's all fine. That's training. Don't really want to take training on. I don't really want to take training on, but I will. To stop you from changing training for arbitrary reasons. That's all fine. Matches. That's all fine, right? That's all fine. Set pieces. That's all good. Good. So if you wondered what my responsibilities look like, that's what it is. Barcelona versus Swansea City. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what I'm seeing at all. Um, I don't like what I'm seeing. Let's check I haven't looked at the fixture list myself. Let's take a look at it. Brentford in the cup, and then the Champions League phase doesn't look too bad at first. Dinamo Zagreb. Okay, in fact, let's just do Champions League. Let's Zagreb away should get a result. PSV away a little tougher, should get a result. Arsenal at home competitive. Borussia Dortmund away. Oh, Atletico Madrid at home. And a trip to the new camp. Yikes. Leipzig at home is not bad. Young boys at home, we can finish strong. Arsenal, Dortmund, Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona. Really tough quartet there. And then PSV away, Leipzig at home. Not the easiest you could get either. Zagreb away can be tricky. Young boys at home. Like, that's the only nice fixture we've got there. Brutal. 3 1-0 wins. Some of them deserved, some absolutely not. Sorry, Villa. Yeah, this was Bournemouth one was definitely deserved. And again, Diomande playing in midfield because we had a couple of knocks and issues along the way, and had to play like Palfrey in midfield. But yeah, we scraped 3 1-0 wins of varying degrees. It's not been easy at all. Got Forest, Newcastle away. Ipswich at home's not bad. And Leeds away is not bad. Then home fixtures against some big teams. Got West Ham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton away, United at home, Brighton, Leicester away. So I think we're fairly good through this period. We can definitely pick up some points. Now, Newcastle at home, Spurs at home, Liverpool away could get really tricky. Man City at home. And then we start getting the reverse fixtures, but again, this seems okay. Then Arsenal away, United away. A draw at either of those. Home wins against Leeds, Everton, that could be a good February. These are all good. Chelsea away is kind of isolated with nothing around it, in the league at least. And again, we just get a brutal final three. Tottenham away, Liverpool at home, Man City away. And you know, if it's anything like last season, the title fight with Arsenal, I mean, these two could really trip us up a little bit. And then Chelsea away as well here. We're not going to get comfortable runs at any point before the end of the season. And we could just be in a title fight with Liverpool and Man City, probably. And we get those two, last two of the season. So, really tricky. Don't know where all the other fixtures are going to break down. Yeah, back-to-back home games against Arsenal. Not the worst thing in the world there. I'm going to say the fixture list being kind of kind. We can get a lot of points on the board early. A lot of easier fixtures and home fixtures against big teams when we've got Champions League games here. It's going to get trickier here and towards the end of the season if we're that deep in the FA Cup, League Cup, or Champions League. It gets a whole lot trickier. It 100% does. But Yeah. Fixture's going to move about, but that's fine. Frimpong back, Humphreys, Diamande, Kobe all out. Dom can come in. Squad player, 100 grand. Total of 21 million. Even if I don't sell João Regao, I think that works. And even better to begin with, Dom's happy to be a squad player, so we don't need to upset João Regao either, which is really good because I've just noticed that Bournemouth's interest has gone. Sneaky, sneaky. Very sneaky. Yeah, Baybrook, I guess you need to be... you need to be training as a halfback again if we're moving you back as a backup defensive midfielder. Smith, you're fine, but you can go back to the under-21s where you're far more suited at this early stage anyway. And Dom's just going to slide in on the bench. Baybrook behind Szoboszlai, Palfrey, and Humphreys. Kind of works at some level for me. Kind of works. Yep, I'm good with that. Squad registration. Lovely. Make sure nobody is registered. That shouldn't be. That takes us back up to our 15 now. Mokoko and the 21-year-olds. We'll add them anyway. So yeah. I'm good with that. Squad numbers, I'm good. What do you get? 15? That's not a bad number. That's not a bad number. Oh yeah. New captain. Jashari got sold. There's so much more that I'm waffling so badly here. But Mark Gahey is our new captain. So it's Gahey and Humphreys. Nico Gonzalez also in there. Diamande, Szoboszlai now. Like, we're gaining a bit more leadership. Not top-end leadership, sure. Doesn't really matter. But we are gaining some. And we got some great team players to support. I like that penalty-wise. Szoboszlai is going to have to go into the mix here. He's got to be number one, to be fair. He's number one. Mokoko, Yamal, Elliott. Maybe... Yeah, I mean, maybe these two are worth adding. Just for the hell of it. After that, it doesn't really matter too much. Nobody's going to stand out too much unless you want to focus just on composure. We've got some high numbers. But, meh. So, 3 captains. I think they're big enough personalities and people. We can add in. After that, I probably will back out. But, yeah. So, 5 total captains, 6 penalty takers. And this stays our best team. João Regao. To be fair, him and Cam Humphreys held off Elliott last season because Elliott just didn't settle well. And, yeah, he holds his place now and will not give up his position to Dom Szoboszlai just yet. Just yet. This is team number 1. And if we clear these and set up my second team, this is team number 2. Quickly able to select my first and second 11s. Beautiful. If you don't know you can do that, you can do that. You can set up all kinds of different formations. Just one click, you get your team in, including subs and everything. I just haven't got my subs in there. But yeah, very easy, quick way of doing things. So, wage structure intact. Yamal now with Mainu, Frimpong, and Szoboszlai. Oh, wow. We got Frimpong, Szoboszlai, and Harvey Elliott in from Liverpool. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. Probably the biggest contributor to our lineup in that case. Yeah, I haven't really thought about that, but yeah, all fairly recent as well. Last January for Elliott, and then Frimpong and Szoboszlai now either end of the transfer window in this one. But yeah, okay, I'm okay there. Oh, I'm Mamadashvili. Oh my god, I can't. Yeah, okay, that's four Liverpool players. Ooh, okay. They need to start playing their players. Oh my god, murdering them. Diamande, Mukoko, Elliott, Gehi all on 80. I think that's fine. Nico 75. Then the very interesting players like Cam Humphreys, Zhao Regao, Carboni 65, 50, 50. Esteve 45. Coxwell, new winner 35. Dorgu at 35. Yeah, Man United, Coxwell, Dorgu, and of course Kobe Mainu. These big clubs just feeding us players. Love that. Baybrook for 25. Agali's on 20 with Locker. And then the youth prospects. Di Baptista coming through our youth academy. He's still slow as hell at 18, but we are okay with that, I guess. $5,000 a week. Kennelly in 1.8 from Portsmouth. Looks good. Lost his 5-star potential, but we don't care. And Palfrey. He lost his 5-star too. We do care. I was really excited that he was still 5-star. Just really good midfield player that we're continuing to sign players to block his progress, is what it seems to me. Yeah, do we have any 5-star? Just Lamine Yamal. Everyone else is 4.5-star. Do I have any youngsters a 5-star? Carl Smith, we just sent down. Luke Griffiths, who we bought from Southampton for $1 million and have been loaning him out to get development, which is working. Yeah, maybe we don't need a first-team left-back. Maybe we're growing one that's really good. Ben can play centre-back as well as left-back. He came through our academy. He's 5-star, apparently. Im Kwang-suk, still crossing our fingers on this one. He's still 5-star. And Callum King, centre-back, model citizen. I really think he should be good. Fletcher, Waller, Murphy all down to 4.5, but they've all got a place in the first team for sure. David Jones, my third choice youth left back, probably not going to make it. He is the unambitious one. We're probably just going to try and sell him. Lucas Jones, solid midfielder, probably not going to make most of these then. Probably not going to make it at this point. Yeah. Like I say, in the first team, we've got 3 youngsters with 3.5-star potential, which is the same as Zhao Regao and Yusufa Mukoko, which is probably more like 4-star for a big team. Yamal holding on to his because it's Yamal. And then our 4 stars, Diamande, Mainu, Gonzalez, Mamadashvili, Elliott, Frimpong, Gehi, Szoboszlai, and Massimo Kennelly. Yeah. Oh, I really like him. He's going to break into the team real quickly. Poor Frimpong. Poor Frimpong. Egeli and Baybrook are down to 3.5 stars, but very good, solid, rotational young players. Cam Humphreys is down to 3 with Esteve, Carboni, and Dorgu. And our backup goalkeeper, Locker. Just waiting for that Brazilian to come in to take his place, really. is a 2.5-star potential. Canelli is 1.5-star ability, but by God, does he look like he can play now. He does look like he can play now. And yeah, I don't think it's that bad. Diamande and Mark Gahey at the back might actually elevate us quite a lot. They might elevate us quite a lot. 3 balanced, a light-hearted. Still undecided on that one. Can't really remember what that is. If you do, let me know in the comment section down below. Fairly professional. 4 fairly determined, fairly ambitious. Not my favorite either. A bunch of spirited, a couple of resolute. So I like that. And then 2 professionals and a perfectionist. It's not high up on my list, but I believe it's a positive one because it's high professionalism. It might be high professionalism and high ambition. It might be high pressure too. But it might be low on loyalty, which I don't care about. And I don't know where it stands on temperament, and I don't know where it stands on controversy, and I don't know where it stands on sportsmanship. Is the other one sportsmanship? I think the other one's sportsmanship. So, as long as it's not high in those last 3, which I don't think it would be, as long as it's not bad in those 3, I should say, then it's a really good one. But I think it is bad in 1 or 2 of those. So, overall, a net positive, I would say. But personality for the squad is really good. We have 6 breakthrough prospects, a 22-year-old who can't be a breakthrough anymore. We will bump him to fringe. Yeah, why is backup in the squad? Okay, yeah, this is weird. They should have always done these differently. So 5 breakthroughs, a fringe player, a backup, 4 squad players, and then for the first team, oh, I was a miscount. I was going to say 8 regular starters. There's 7 regular starters, first choice goalkeeper, 2 important players, and a star player. The numbers do work. People out on loan. Josh Evans, we are selling. Mark Evans, we've already sold. Yeah, there's no point in you being there right now. Yeah, a bunch of youngsters and future prospects. And 3 breakthroughs. Kind of want to bump Kyle Smith up, but at the same time, I don't. Same with Kwang Suk. I think keeping these low, if you can, works out. So I like my playing time. I like my personality. I like my coverage. I've got 2 years with Canelli, Palfrey, Di Baptista, who all do need new deals. I've got 3 years with Aguirre and with Coxall. I think Coxall might have... Yeah, he's got extension, so he's fine. Aguirre will be sold within that 3-year window. These will all get new deals. Everyone else is in a good place there. Who's running out soon? Nobody. But people like Mayer do need to be sold. In the reserves, it is Archie Mayer. Everyone else is 18 or younger. We have cleared out this squad to maximize our money. That much is sure. 17, 3 18-year-olds, a 20-year-old, 3 21-year-olds, 5 22-year-olds, 2 23-year-olds. God, I forget how young Harvey Elliott is. Oh my God, yes. Ha. Seems much older than that. He really does to me. Two 24-year-olds, a 25-year-old backup keeper that will be replaced by a youngster this January. I think this January. So for half of the season he's here. For the other half, he probably isn't. We did get a work permit. So we don't need to loan out the Brazilian goalkeeper, but it might be better for his development if we actually do. Question for later. But one of 4 25-year-olds. And the oldest man in the squad is brand new in, but has been made our captain because he's good at it. He's been at the club before. And he is the oldest player with a resolute personality. I don't mind that. I think we're in for a fun time. 6 days for Cam to come back, 7 for Kobe, and only 4 for Diamante. We're close to being fully fit. And we have got good competition for places. Left back's a little weak in theory. But that little weak in theory is Carbone. And I feel like we're perfectly fine there. I feel like we're perfectly fine there. And if not him, Dogu, who is pretty much the same. He's going to give you pretty much the same. And long term, we've got the youngsters coming through. That's fine. That's the only potential we've got under 4-star. But now you look at this team and it's unrecognizable to the one we started with. And now this is what I'm saying. If I won the Champions League and told you that my team was Mamadashvili, Frimpong, Diamonde, Gay, Carbone, Nico Gonzalez, João Regao, Kobe Mainu, Harvey Elliott, Lamine Yamal, and Yusufa Mukoko, you probably wouldn't be as impressed as if with the Premier League winning side of last season. Probably. So yeah, we're going to still try and break the game, but we're definitely moving into the realms of, this is kind of what you want to do. Now, fully developing the best staff in the league at almost all levels and very close to doing it at all levels. Buying the stadium, upgrading it by the end of this season to like a 36, 37,000 seat stadium, whatever that was, I can't remember. I think it was 36 and change. Fully developing the training, youth, recruitment, all these things. Getting the 4 merchandise clubs from good nations. Also getting other youngsters from Sweden and Portugal, which should be really fun in your youth academy. And having 300 million in the bank with no debts, because all the debts got paid off a while ago. And not even a huge transfer debt. With 2 Mare prospects going out and 2 really, really good prospects coming in. And we're only going to drop another 34 grand. Yeah. Yeah. And I got a new deal. I don't know what my new deal is. The 50, 55 on a 4-year deal. I can't really think of anything that would be much better than that. Gotta be honest. Can't really think of anything I would change up until this point. But you let me know what kind of job I've done. And what your expectation for this season is. Like I say, it's a tricky set of Champions League fixtures. But you've got to think, if we get off to a decent start, right? Zagreb away, we win. PSV away, we come out with a win. Arsenal at home, we can win. So let's say we win our opening 3. A trip to Dortmund, isn't really gonna is that really gonna scare us? We just won the league title. The players we brought in, maybe it shouldn't. Atletico Madrid at home, maybe that shouldn't scare us either. There's definitely a world where 5 from 5 after those. At which point, what's the harm in just going after Barcelona at the Nou Camp, right? Really shouldn't terrify us. And not only that, but we've got, Brighton and Leicester away. Probably not the toughest fixtures before it. Atletico Madrid, Dortmund, yes. Man United, but that's even at home. And after it, we can highlight this and then rotate out for Crystal Palace, Brentford, maybe even Newcastle and Tottenham at home. So, we can kind of navigate that through the schedule. And then Leipzig at home, Young Boys at home. We could just win all of those. Really? It's not out of the realms of possibility. At least I don't think so. But let me know what you think. If you haven't already hit the like button, please do so. Hit subscribe. It would mean an absolute lot to me. Check out the other playlist. And until next time, as we come back for this live com against Nottingham Forest, as the transfer window is ending, Szoboszlai, the latest man through the door. Not planned, but just can't say no to deals. With Isak maybe lurking. Not in this window, unless something stupid happens, but maybe January or end of the season. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Till then, take care, stay safe, all the very best to you, and I wish you all the luck in breaking FM24 and doing it all again when FM26 comes out like I plan to. I'll see you there.